Hey, what's going on, guys? So I know it's been a while since I made a video on this channel, this Breaking Brad channel, and I wanted to check in and kind of talk about some of the things that have happened over the last few months. And this isn't stuff that I would talk about on my main tech channel. This is, more personal shit. So those of you that have followed me from Traversy Media, this is quite different. So, first off, I think that the reason I stopped posting on this channel is that I was starting to look at it in kind of the same way that I do my main channel, and that's basically a job, and we all lose a little bit of passion and interest when your hobby becomes your job. And I started worrying about things like making the videos perfect and writing out scripts and editing the right way and thumbnails and all that crap. So what I plan on doing now, as far as this channel goes, is none of that, and just coming up with topics that interest me. I turn on the camera and just talk about it. And I think that a lot of people appreciate that stuff. I know I do. I appreciate when people are genuine and real and not that fake, weird, uppity personality. So, since I talked to you guys last, a lot has changed. We bought a new house, and I know that that sounds like it's exciting and positive, but the reality is, I think that I made kind of a mistake. We had a beautiful house that was relatively close to being paid off, relatively, and we decided to move to a place that is a little nicer and a little newer, but at quite the expense. And I don't think it was worth it. Over the past year or so, my income has fallen over 60% or so. And, a lot of that has to do with AI and just the changing of landscape when it comes to software development and people learning to code. Because in 2020, during COVID, I hit a high where I was making, over $1 million per year. And everyone was in the house at that time wanting to learn something new. So I got a bunch of YouTube subscribers, and people were buying my courses. And, it just, I did really well. And I never thought in my life that I would make that kind of money. And I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't a materialistic person at all. I grew up pretty broke, but I always liked nice stuff. Luckily, my grandparents were pretty well off, so they were able to buy me the name brand sneakers and stuff like that my mother couldn't. I was also poor when I was an adult, when I met my wife and she got pregnant. In fact, I was fresh out of a locked detox facility. I had no job or anything going for me. So when I started making that kind of money, I spent a little more than I should have, and I wasn't a total idiot. I saved a lot and I still have quite a bit in savings. However, that's kind of trending down at the moment. So yeah, I think that buying this house wasn't the best financial decision that I've ever made. Now, even though my income has taken a hit, I'm not all bent out of shape about it. I did start to get a little worried and started thinking kind of negative, but I know that I just need to adapt. So what I did is I sold a piece of my company to someone that I trust, someone that I call a friend, and he's now my partner. So now I have someone else to work with and bounce ideas and stuff. And we have a couple other team members, and we're currently working on an interactive coding platform. And I expect it to bring me way past where I was making video courses. And I really think that the way you think about things matters. And it may sound corny or kind of new age or whatever, but I think that having a negative vibe and outlook, it puts that energy into the universe, and you get that back, good or bad, whether you're putting good energy or bad energy. And I know that, I made it from withdrawing from heroin on the floor of a jail cell to making over $1 million per year. And it took a lot of work to get to that point. But I know that eventually you can get there if you never give up, and you're going to make mistakes and have failures, but I know that you can get there. So I'm not too worried about that. So anyway, in addition to buying a house and taking kind of a hit financially, some good things have happened. My daughter, who is 18, she started college, and I'm so friggin' proud of her. She's becoming a nurse, and she's now about an hour away, and she does come home on the weekends. And it feels really weird to not have her living with us. I feel like it was yesterday that she was little and I was carrying her on my shoulders, but and it's bittersweet because I miss her being little, but it's also great watching her grow up into an adult. And I'm also grateful because I was literally locked up when I was her age. I was addicted to hard drugs and stealing from people. And I had my 18th and my 21st birthday in jail, separate bids, but still, those are supposed to be the most exciting birthdays. And she's so different. She won't even drink a beer, so I'm so proud of her. And my son's doing okay. For those of you that don't know, he has severe special needs. He's 15, but if you saw him, you'd probably think he's like 7 or 8 because the issue he has with his chromosome, it causes growth issues, and he's also nonverbal, and it gets very stressful. But it has taught me patience. I have a long way to go, but I think he was put in my life for a reason, and even though he has it really rough, he's still a very happy kid, which is what really matters the most. My wife and I have been doing pretty well. We had some rough patches, but she's, the love of my life, and I couldn't imagine life without her. And it's almost been 20 years. So it's just crazy how fast time is going. But I just wanted to kind of check in with you guys, and I will be making more videos. And you can let me know, if you're interested in certain topics, just not coding because that's kind of my other channel. But I have been building a lot of my own products lately, so I could talk about business and launching products. I could talk about self-help, mental health, finance, addiction, even things like current events. Although I definitely don't want to get too political. In fact, I should probably make a video on how much I hate politics and because it's just so divisive lately. But yeah, so I just wanted to check in with you guys, and I will see you in the next video.